Yeah, I know.
Welcome everybody for today's special meeting, Friday, March 3rd, 2023. Roll call, please.
Mayor Alma Beltran,
Present.
Councilwoman Juanita Molina,
Present.
Councilman Diego Garza,
Present.
Councilwoman Sabrina Rodriguez.
Present.
Councilwoman Kathy Solorio. City Clerk Garza is absent. And Treasurer Michelle Lopez.
Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first we'll start with this item for that was requested by our council, which was Juanita Molina, Sabrina, Diego, I believe that was it, that requested the special meeting for the Roundup for consideration of waiving the fees. We had previously had it on our last meeting, and I had pulled it because we still needed to have the reinstatement of the IRS that had revoked their nonprofit. And as of today, we still don't have the reinstatement letter. So I don't know who wants to begin on this discussion as far as the waiving of fees. I do have something to inform the community because we did contact the IRS. So I have an update for that as well. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I just want to know what you guys have to bring. You guys are the ones that actually brought this to.
Yeah, well, actually, Patrick or Wally, if you want to come up to the podium or whichever.
Yeah. All right. Good evening. Sorry we're a little late. We all have to sometimes work. Most of us work, but hey, we make it happen when we have to do things. My name is Patrick Molina, and I'm a long life resident of the city of Parlier to the day I die. Well, go ahead and pass this out. We're the Parlier Roundup Committee, and so right here, when we became a nonprofit back in 2019, we did our services with Central Valley Multi-Services in Selma. And she wrote a letter so you guys could know, and I'm going to read it out to you. To who it may concern, I am Brenda Solis, CEO of Central Valley Multi-Services Incorporated, the service center that helped the Parlier Roundup Committee become an official 501c public charity. The effective date of exemption, September 3rd, 2019. Since the inception of the organization, I have been filing their taxes with the Internal Revenue Service every year as required by the federal government. We were not aware of any issues with any return not being accepted. The secretary for the organization received a letter informing them, which is Duby Trevino, that the Parlier Roundup Committee 501c status had been revoked as of August 8th, 2022, right after the last roundup. As soon as I received the letter from the secretary of the committee, I and Patrick Molina personally went to the IRS office and delivered all tax files for every year I had filed. The woman we met with went through the forms and could not understand why the verification happened. It showed clearly we had filed the forms accordingly to every year. I've sent copies of all reports, copies and tax forms, receipts of accepted and rejected files for the Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Service in Ogden, Utah. So at this time, she had said she had not heard from them, and I will continually to work diligently until the mistake is corrected. The Parlier Roundup Committee is an exceptional group of people who have worked hard in their commitment. should have never happened. I am including the IRS explanation and the auto verification exemption, which you guys could look up yourself like you guys did, and it was not our fault. And she signed it here, and any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to her. And also, for backup, we have Pablo Contreras in Dinuba, that also, I'll provide you guys with that letter, that he is the second person in charge of making sure that we are where we need to be. So it was nothing on our behalf that was out of our hands.
But we might have it before.
Yes, as of today, all our documents are all turned in. I'll provide you with that document, Neil. And as of right now, we are still an entity. We're a 501c, not for profit. We still have an EIN number. And we have, for this year in collaboration, we have our nonprofit that we're gonna help out this year with us. And it's the Parlor Athletics Association, and their nonprofit is right here. And I wanna pass this book to you. So you could see our balance sheet, Neil, of what we have in the bank. You could see everything it takes to put this on. I wish we could have included our wages, but we don't pay ourselves because it's all volunteer time, and we do this for the love of our town, the love of helping the community and keeping this going for 76 years. That's what we're here for. And we're an open book and willing to answer any questions to anyone. And whatever questions you guys want to ask.
I have a question. So for the Parlier Athletic Association, you guys are going to be in partnership with them?
Yes, sir. We're going to be in partnership with them.
And that means, Neil, does that mean that we can approve the waivers?
Yeah.
Since they're going to have a non.
There's a couple of ways you can do it.
Okay.
And, I'll just point out there's something strange going on, because I go onto the state website, and it shows them as an active nonprofit corporation. I go to the IRS website, it shows them as having been revoked. And of course, until the IRS says they're not revoked, they're revoked. So, they could certainly have an existing 501c3 basically to put it on for them and basically act as the agent of that entity. Or you could approve the waiver contingent upon them producing or getting the revocation retracted. Okay? Does that make sense? But if what is stated in the letter is true, there's apparently been some miscommunication between the Roundup Committee and the IRS, and they should reinstate them. And so you can do it both ways or one way or the other. But basically our policy is that unless you're a 501c3, we charge the fees. If you're a 501c3, you get them waived. So if it's going to be put on by the existing 501c3 with the Roundup Committee folks acting basically as their agent, and we're basically just looking out for
Most definitely.
because if you take money, and I don't know how you operate this thing, but if you're taking in money and you're not a 501c3, that's a taxable event.
And that's very understandable. And like I said again, as of today, all of our proper filings are there. Mr. Contreras, Pablo Contreras, CPA, I'm going to give you his letter. I had it, but he didn't put the letterhead on it. If it comes through right now, if you don't mind me using the printer here, if you don't mind using like 5 copies, I'll bring them for you. And tomorrow, come Monday, Neil, please reach out to him 591-1040. He's great on taxes also. He does mine for 20 years.
Like I say,
yeah.
if what's said here
Yes.
is the case, there's no reason for them to have revoked you.
Yeah.
So because all of the filings were properly made, if that's true.
That's true.
And what was the total?
It should just be a matter of contacting the IRS to get them to reinstate
That's where we're at right now.
501c3
That's-
status. So I'm just telling the council that one way to approve this,
Would be under that other nonprofit, right?
the fees would be to say, we're gonna approve it, we're gonna charge you the fees.
Right.
But if you come in, anytime before the event happens,
And we get ours back.
and you show us the reinstatement letter,
Yes.
which they'll routinely issue if they reinstate you,
Yes.
then the fees are automatically
Waived.
waived.
Yes. Yeah, and that's exactly what we want to do. We're not trying to get around nothing. As soon as it's reinstated, let's just say it's reinstated next week, we'll be right in
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And we will bring you guys a copy. No problem.
I did contact though the IRS, and as of today, you're still revoked.
Yes,
So if
yes.
it's in process right now, you're probably not going to get something next week because they're still saying you're still
But
revoked.
we're still safe using a collaboration with the other entity.
It would have to be them requesting.
Yeah.
And their event. It won't be a Roundup event anymore.
If we do it
because-
together,
because-
Neil, are we still okay with that? Is because we're collaborating.
No, because you are the one that's actually having the event. You're the one.
We are having the
You're
event.
the one that's gonna have the money go into Roundup's account.
No.
Yeah,
We're
the
not-
carnival money goes into let me just finish, and then you'll have your time. The Roundup money that you get from all the vendors, which is 350, correct? For all vendors that go out there, it's about 22 vendors that you have. You get all the Roundup Queen ticket sales, you get all the beer garden sales, and you get the carnival money. So if you get all of that, that's money that's going into the Roundup account, not to the other one that's the nonprofit. So if you're not a nonprofit, according to the IRS, you're not a nonprofit. And if you conduct business and say that you're the nonprofit, then you're, like Neil said, I have looked into it, and you would be committing a tax evasion, tax fraud.
So, you want to go ahead? You want to tell her?
And if you don't believe it, then
no,
contact
no,
the
no.
IRS and ask them
No,
those
that's
questions.
fine.
Neil.
Look it.
Neil.
What is the name of the other?
I have a copy for you, Neil.
Neil.
The name of the other 501c3.
It's the
Parlier Athletic Association.
Parlor
It would have to be under them. It would have to be them presenting it here as their event,
Neil is gonna.
right, Neil? It would have to be their event. It cannot be you.
That's what I'm getting into.
Relax. I know you're getting upset, but this is the truth.
If you're willing to substitute in the Parlor Athletic, whatever that was, as the actual applicant asking us to waive the fees for them
that.
conduct the
Request.
the roundup,
No, like the contract we did, we will put their name on there.
and your involvement is going to be as an agent of that other 501c3, and the council agrees that you can amend your application here and now.
Neil, wouldn't they have to submit the application that they did? File another application with the other 501(c)(3), because that's who's requesting all of this, is this applicant here. Just like anybody that's gonna rent the hall, the person that's gonna rent the hall is the one that's gonna fill out the form. It won't be me filling that out for somebody else in my name.
Right.
So-
I'm simply saying that one of the ways of doing it is proposing a amendment to the application to be an application in the name of that other 501c3.
And then we would have to have it on the agenda, because, again, it's stating Roundup. It doesn't have anybody from that other
No, he's-
nonprofit, plus they're not here. Where are they? Where are they to present this?
What we have on the agenda.
So we could bring it
is-
back
What we have on the agenda is simply a request.
for the
So
for these.
We're not amending the agenda. We're simply, if
You are
if
amending,
council
so-
consents to it, you are amending the application simply to change the name of the applicant.
Okay, what I'm trying to say, Neil, I don't think you understand what I'm saying, because if on this agenda, it says Roundup Committee to have these fees waived, right? That's what we have on here. So it should read the other nonprofit for them to have the fees waived for that event, not the Roundup. So as far as I know, and we've had this conversation, if it's on here with their name, you can't make the changes of the agenda and not post it in advance 24 hours prior with a different name of a different nonprofit. So what I'm saying, if you want to waive these fees under that organization, we can put it on the agenda. We can have them come in, because they're not even here to present that they're going to sponsor you or do anything. You guys are speaking on behalf of them. So they should be here just like you're here in regards to the Roundup, and say, yes, it's going to be under us, and we are the ones supporting this event under our nonprofit. I don't see what's the problem with having to do that, because this does not say that other organization. It says Parlier Roundup.
My understanding from what Patrick said, if we approve if it gets approved, you approve it with the fees. Yeah. And if they get their letter, they will bring it back. If they don't get their letter in time, they will use the other nonprofit to waive the fees.
Yes.
So but we can approve the event with the fees, and you can pay those fees. And if you get it before the event, then you get reimbursed your fees.
And then we could actually bring it back
and then bring it back.
Yes.
And then, yes, that's what we said before, but you're saying about,
No.
I had this conversation with him.
That they were going to use the other.
I had this conversation with you too last
No.
night about that.
No, and I said we should approve it with the charges. If they get it before, then we
did have that conversation.
We waive
Yes.
it. Yes.
No.
But what they're saying, they brought up, if they don't get their letter, they're willing to use the other organization, the nonprofit is willing to be in sponsorship with them, so they can get the fees waived.
And that's when I'm saying that they would have to come here and get it approved.
Neil
so
said we
you
can
wouldn't
add
approve the other event, the other nonprofit, because we don't have that here. If it was on here with both of you on here, that would have been different, because it would have been Parlier Roundup and that other nonprofit that you're talking about. But it's not on here.
Are you saying you don't want the Roundup to happen?
No, so we can bring it back if they use the Parlier.
Are you saying that, Alma, you don't want the Roundup to happen?
all you do is you
Okay,
approve it.
if you want me to do illegal stuff, no, I'm not.
Neil, you're the attorney. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't put us in wrongdoing.
Yes.
do, and I think this satisfies everybody's point. What you can do is you can prove it with the fees charged.
Mm-hmm.
If they're able to
Let them pay. Well, yeah.
bring in the
Letter.
reinstatement letter before this event occurs.
Right.
And I would think they'd be able to do that by the time of your next meeting.
Yeah.
And then the fees just go away.
Right.
By the same token, something that they
Doesn't
could
happen.
do by the time of your next meeting, if they see that they're not going to get reinstated for some reason, then they just come back here on the 16th and they say, instead of the Roundup Committee, this is going to be done by Parlier Athletic, whatever that is. And, your involvement is going to be as agents, the involvement of the Roundup Committee is going to be as
Yeah.
agents of that.
Yeah, back in 2019, when we were,
Neil.
I want to say something real quick here. Alma, back in 2019, when we did a Parlier Roundup, we had asked the Lions Club to be the one that would do the nonprofit with us, and you recall because you said because a week before the Lions Club decided to inform us that they did not have the proper nonprofit. It was revoked. So you reached out to us with the Parlor Football League your husband owns and you said, we got you guys. And you sponsored us together and you helped us. And we appreciate your help, what you did, because we made it happen for the football of the Parlor Panthers here, the youth, and the Parlor Panthers of your youth. We did that together, yes or no?
Together.
That's all we're asking for today. And let's just make this together happen for our town.
Yes, it is going
You
to
helped us yourself. I'm just saying.
I'm not
I don't see
saying
why.
that you can't do it. Are you not listening?
Didn't come in with us at the same time at the last time. So now we need somebody.
That's fine, and that's what I'm trying
we're
to explain.
asking.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Okay.
You never want to, and because if you don't want to listen, then that's why you get
Okay,
stuck on
all
what
right,
you're
so
stuck
then
on.
we're gonna-
But this is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Okay, exactly what Sabrina said. That's exactly what we had the conversation as far as approving it with the fees, and if you had the letter, then you get the fees waived.
And
we talked about
the
that.
fees honestly ain't the big problem. You know, we
But-
just need
but
to
let me
know. What we
finish
need
what
to
I
know is
was-
what are the fees are we talking about? Like we need to know. Can you tell us what the fees are?
But
not
Neil,
expensive. It's not.
What is it?
before we go into
Okay.
now,
Can
you
everybody-
were saying
Wait a
I'm
minute.
talking to
No,
Neil.
I was talking.
You were
You just
can
interrupted
you
me right now.
please do
Jesus.
the amendment to add the association?
No, you can't.
on this one. Neil was saying that you can.
You have to post it on the
Here's what I would
agenda.
suggest.
He's the one. He's the
Okay.
We're
attorney.
dealing with
So now
things
you don't have to post anything on the agenda.
we've got to verify later on. We'll keep this matter on your agenda for March 16th, okay?
Yeah.
You approve it now with
With the
them
fees.
paying the fees. We're keeping it on the agenda for March 16th in the expectation that by then, they will know one way or another whether they're going to get reinstated, and they'll be able to come in and show us they've been reinstated, and automatically
They get
because
waived.
your motion would be to
Waive them.
charge the fees, but in the event they're able to produce the reinstatement letter, those fees go away, okay? If it comes around to March 16th, and I'm guessing, you know, they're going to know one way or another whether they're gonna be able to convince the IRS in time to get this reinstated.
And the second option
Still
is
talking.
If by March 16th, they're not reinstated,
you go with your plan B.
we'll make a slight change to the agenda language here, that as it appears on our March 16th agenda, to include as an alternative,
Right.
Parlor Athletic, is it Athletic Association?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's all I was saying, that it has to say that on here.
That, and then it'll
That-
come March 16th.
And
It'll
that's
be-
That's
a,
the way
it'll be
government works.
together, right?
Sorry.
that's a good. That's
You
good.
don't like it? Go
That's good.
find out.
But is there a way to
Get informed.
amend it for today? Like,
No,
is
you
there a way?
Well, we could.
hold on. I'm
Okay,
asking Neil.
He's asking if we can amend our agenda. What have you always been telling us when we do special
he was
meetings?
saying it before you
Can you
interrupted
amend
that
the
you
agenda
can.
without posting it for 24 hours prior to the public?
It's
You can't, see? You can't.
but you can amend the application.
The application, but that's why you have to change it on the.
Well, hold on here, everybody. We have had meetings without a 24-hour prior that Alma had put without notice, and we had our meeting. I don't know why this is being an issue. Neil, you said we can amendment. Please figure out what you had said.
I was talking in terms of making an amendment to the
application.
I know you didn't,
application
Bertha.
itself.
That would be Bertha. You're saying that Bertha.
Okay, okay.
Frankly, I don't think that's what these gentlemen want. I think what these gentlemen want is they want the Roundup Committee to put this thing on if the Roundup Committee is able to secure a reinstatement. Am I right about that?
So what we want, Neil, is they will be our backup plan, which we're asking right now for what I understand is the waiver of the, we want ours.
Preference
To be on their name.
that it's done by the Roundup committee.
Most definitely, yes,
Yes?
yes.
So I would simply suggest this. It is, to cut through the debate and
You know, we honestly need to get just started so we could start paying the going forward contracts and with announcements is what the main thing is.
I don't think you know how long that
Takes.
It's a big.
We're talking.
We've asked for this letter since last year, when this came up the last time. Remember when the when that came up about the being revoked?
Well, when we had the meeting here. Yeah, but at that
remember
time,
having this
yeah,
conversation
at that time, like we did not know. It was literally in August when that happened, and we were surprised ourselves. I mean, we found out, you posted it on Facebook, and we found out on there. Like, we didn't even know. We got the letter, like, ironically, on the same week, and we were like, well, okay, what's going on here? And that's why we told this lady, we said, you need to write a letter. Because we need an explanation for the people because we did our part.
If she didn't do her job, then that's who you need to go after. That's what happened.
That's what we're doing.
Can we ask what are the fees?
Yeah, we want to just know what the fees.
If we need to pay, what would be the Roundup having the fees?
They're not expensive, but
No, but what are they?
and I know, but I just want you guys.
Can you tell us how much?
I know you.
Oh, okay.
Get
Can
upset,
you
but
tell us, please?
It's just.
I don't know the total. I'd have to add it all up because I know that you guys are asking for the senior center and then Richard Garfield, I think added.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to
Just do an estimate, at least where they can have a rough idea.
How much?
It was about $2,500 for 4 days of the park and for 4 days of the park and electricity.
Yeah,
Closures and the senior
and we're willing to.
I think the Roundup will take care of that in order
Yeah.
to keep this going. And all we need is a vote now, and the Roundup will take care of that $2,500. If that's what we're fighting over right here, $2,500. I think the Roundup will eat that, and we'll do that. We'll find some way to get that. We just need a decision today so that we can start moving forward with our stuff.
Just announcing that's it. We need to get forward contracts, and I brought these contracts.
Cannot change it.
So
Okay,
I think
so
what he's
let
saying-
So they
him
know.
change it, and then we'll deal with the aftermath as far as changing an agenda, Neil. Because he's saying he wants to change the agenda.
The application.
The application, it can always be changed, but if you're gonna make the approval of somebody that's not on the agenda, it's like putting a contract that's with somebody else's name. You can't do that.
It's the application.
How about we do this, Neil? Can we?
Just go with what my suggestion would be is prove it the way we said in the beginning and go with your plan B and bring it back if you need a plan B.
Let's just change the application.
The Roundup committee? If you guys can
He
pay,
wants-
if you guys are saying you can pay the fee, just pay the fee.
Yeah.
Just pay the fee, let us vote, and pay the fee. We know how much work it is, and we said it, and the majority of. It's not. No, that you guys do it out of your hearts, because you use your vacation, your own personal vacation from work to put this event for the community,
Can I
And
say
I
something?
want to thank all of you guys,
go
because I know it's a lot of work.
Okay, what was that? Michelle?
Yes.
I have a question. You guys are wonderful. You know, you guys do really, really good events. But I'm year round, and all I was asking for the other day was $600 for some tires to help me transfer animals.
That has nothing to do with this. No, it has nothing to do with this item. Has nothing to
You
do with this
guys
item.
are helping them,
It
and
ha-
I'm a nonprofit.
It has nothing to
but
do
you
with this
work
item.
hard for only $600.
And there was no public comments. It has nothing to do with this item.
So, okay, I know they didn't want to approve the $600. I know, I get it, Michelle, and I know you're upset about that. But we're talking about waiving fees for a committee that is not a nonprofit. I get it. But you can do,
We
can do
can I
the
just
fee
clarify something?
and then just get, like she said.
We are
Approve
a
the
501 not for profit
Okay,
right now.
can you clarify that, Neil?
Not for profit. We are not.
You're revoked until the.
No,
IRS
But not-for-profit is a 501c3.
but
It's the same thing.
I
It's
know,
the
but-
same thing.
All I was suggesting
Yeah.
is simply making the motion to where
Wait.
charge the fees.
Stop.
If you can bring in
Chief,
that reinstatement,
Chief.
the fees go away.
Yes, and we're okay whichever way it goes.
That
You know.
seems to be.
It's gonna be approved with your name of the roundup with the fees, and all we're asking is to bring back that letter, and that's it. That's all we're asking for.
That's it.
Okay, so we
Pay for the fees.
yeah
Thank
yeah
you.
so yeah, go ahead, go vote. Yeah.
I make a motion to approve. Roll call, please, Bertha.
Councilmember Solorio?
She asked you, are you yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, roll call. Yeah, we're voting.
Councilmember Garza? Yes. Mayor Beltran?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Molina?
Yes.
That's 5 yeses.
Motion carries. Thank you.
And we'd like to thank you guys on behalf of also, just so the community knows, it takes a lot of volunteer time, but it's no sweat off our back to do what we do. President of the Partner Football League, 175 kids this year, guys, in our football league. And a big round of applause to our kids, because you know what? Having those kids out there with our partner football and our partner baseball, our devotion to be able to keep the Roundup and the football and the baseball going. Believe me, it takes a lot of time out of our lives, but it don't matter. It's about doing what's best, and we appreciate you guys looking out for our citizens, because it's an open to the public. Y si podemos atraer a toda la gente para que puedan a visitar a todos nosotros, unirnos aquí en el pueblo, lo agradecemos, y lo agradecemos todo lo que los apoyan en todo el pueblo. Thank you guys for all your guys' support.
Thank you. Okay, next we can move on to the next item. Okay, there's another item that was also asked to be put on the agenda, Neil. I don't know who was requesting this, so can you ask that person?
I don't have a staff report or any documentation for this, because this is a
Request from,
council request.
so the person that
I'm not-
requested, can we have them elaborate what's this about?
Yeah, I was just going to refer this to the council person that requested it, which
Okay.
I believe to be Councilmember Solorio.
Okay. Go ahead, Kathy.
It was actually me.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the one who requested it.
Okay, go Diego.
So the reason why we requested this is because in a meeting, public session, Miss Ali and Alma said it was illegal for council members to grab the card and to have the card. And right now, there's currently an elected official who has a card in her name. So I believe it should be put back in the city, and no elected official should have a credit card under their name.
Because Alex said so?
Ali said so. If it's against the law, it's against the law.
Ellie was saying in her defense, that she's not here to defend herself. There was an incident that happened with Kathy, was asking for the credit card that's not assigned to her from the finance department. And when Allie found out, because she wanted to have Sonia purchase basketball courts. So Allie stopped that, because you cannot have access to a city credit card that is, for one, she can't purchase things. Second is that not to go pick it up from the finance to have.
He wasn't trying
I
to
was
purchase
there,
it.
Sonia. I was.
No, you weren't there.
I was standing. She was standing right behind you when I came in. Yes, I was there.
No, you were
don't
not
want.
there.
Okay, you want to deny it? No, that's fine. But that is what she said. So she stopped it because staff didn't feel comfortable handing a credit card to an elected official that does not have that authority. That's what she said that was illegal. Not because I have a credit card, so when I go to conferences, which you guys dealt with when you went to a conference, you had to check in and they have to use a credit card for incidentals. And what happened? You guys started panicking because you had to use your own credit card or your own bank card. So I had that same experience when I went to DC and I didn't have a card. So when I went to DC and I checked in with my own bank card, they deducted $1,700 from my account. So I had to talk to the person there. I had to talk to the Fresno COG president and like, what are we gonna do? So he said, I don't understand why you don't have a city credit card. Normally that's what everybody does when they come here. It shouldn't be on your dime. So I called Bertha. Thankfully, Bertha was able to reverse those charges and try to get that money back into my account. So at that time, back in 2016, that's when the city manager then said, okay, we'll get you the credit card. It was approved by council at the time, and I've had it since then. There's never been any misuse of it. If I go to a conference, it's to check in, check out. If it's for parking, and that's it. Every receipt is accounted for. It is against the law for even me misappropriating it. That's what happened in Fowler with that other individual that got indicted for misusing the credit card. There has never been an issue. I've been here 9 years. I've had it for like 7 years. What is the problem? And it's all a control, because even though Diego brought it up, it's been Kathy's control over me of what I can and cannot do. She hates the fact that I'm still the mayor when she wanted to be mayor. She does not want me to have any say in anything. That's why she always makes sure that everybody is in line with what she wants. That's what happened.
I would just note, there's nothing illegal about a council member having a credit card, and to my recollection, the issue we were dealing with was not, and I don't know what Ali said or didn't say, and I just don't know. But if that's what in fact she said, it's wrong. There's no legal impediment to a council member having a credit card. And in fact, you folks check the city credit card out to go to the conference and pay for hotels and things like that. And there's similarly nothing wrong with having one issued in the name of a council member.
So yeah, it was.
I'm just wondering about the basis for it all. All I know is there's no legal impediment to doing that.
Thank you.
If there's some concern about misuse of the credit card, I would.
Nobody
I
ever
would think
said that.
That is unwarranted, because if a council member were issued a credit card and proceeded to misuse it to purchase personal items that are not authorized, that would be tantamount to resigning your position as a city council member, because that would be highly, highly improper.
Sabrina, do you
And
have?
everything
do you have-
goes to
It does go through a process.
process.
We
It's
go
through staff. It doesn't.
You get your statement on your credit card just like anybody else. The city gets the statement on the credit card that is used by any council member, and they see what's on there, and if there was something suspicious on there, that council member would have some explaining to do. Right.
So you said this is the second time you've said it. It's not illegal to have a credit card in your possession as an elected official. Okay. Ali did say that to Kathy, and I did mention it, that she needed an apology because it was not true what was said. And my understanding how it happened was Sonia asked her, can you go tell finance to get the credit card so that Sonia can make the purchase. I'm just saying it was said. She said it was illegal. It was said that it was illegal.
It is.
And he just said it's not.
No, for elected.
So the
Sonia,
same-
if
so
Sonia
the-
wanted the
the
if Sonia
same
wanted the credit card, you should have got it yourself.
the
What
same
was so
credit
hard for
card-
you to
listen
get
to
out of
me.
your
The
seat
same
and
credit
go and
card-
get the credit card? Why would you put Kathy in that
credit
predicament.
card that
Why would you do that?
the elected officials checked out to go to out of town was the same credit card
Why
that
would you have
Ellie
her
said
do
was
that?
illegal. So Alma, listen to me. What she
wouldn't
needs
you
is
get
an
it?
apology.
Why would you not get? Yes, it is.
Questioning me is
Why would you not get that credit card? Why would you put her in that position then? If you know,
I don't
and you
see
were
it
sitting in
as
the
a
office
victim.
and you
Tonya,
made her go get it.
actually a
So
mis-
then the
that-
one that owes her an apology is you for putting her in that position.
actually a misunderstanding, but Alma.
No,
Yep.
you should have never put her in that position.
Nick,
Alma
just
was the
to-
one that had
just
it posted
to-
on Facebook.
Just so that we could stop the arguing, I would like to make a motion if we can approve the item number 2. I would like to make a motion.
I have no problem checking it. I'll check it out, and then when I'm done using it, I could put it back in. Because I do go to conferences that they don't go to. I go to meetings for several boards that I'm in, and I do need it for parking. So there is no way that I'm gonna be running around because somebody wants control of me.
This
That's
is
a
not,
control. It's almost like a domestic abuse relationship where you want that control over that person.
I am so sorry,
And
you
to
guys, I don't
me,
want control, but
that
I'll
is
tell you
not
something.
right.
COG pays her per diem 110, her gas is included in there.
Nobody gets
okay?
a per diem.
So she don't need it.
I don't bring me the proof. Where's the per diems? Go ahead.
I have a question. I know that you had said that if there is charges, the whole city council gets that notation of the itemized charges, correct?
The city does, yeah.
So would the city council members have access to that?
Yes.
So at that point, you all have the capabilities of questioning anything at that time. So having a credit card in your possession, again, you guys all have that capability of seeing what charges are made on that specific card. Whether or not somebody has to check it in, I've been a government employee before. So at that point, I've had a credit card and I never had to relinquish my credit card. When I was not attending a conference or going out of town on a business trip, I never had to relinquish my credit card, never once. Because again, they get the reports and the statements of those credit cards. Yeah. So for me, I think it hinders somebody when they have to go and track somebody down because people take time off of work. So if that person is out, who would somebody go to that needed that credit card to check it out? And is that going to take time from them missing lights or checking out a car, whatever the circumstance is? So my question to you, again, is what is benefit if somebody has to check it in or out if you get to receive and get to look at all of the charges to see if there is fraud going on or misuse of that card?
And that does come to council, and I'll tell you one thing. Even Sabrina has mentioned that she's checked the credit card, the one that I use. She's checked it. She's always checking it to make sure. Never once did she ever tell me that it was, or ask the council, hey, there's something wrong with this. Never once. But again, we're going back to control. That's all this is. Control of me because of what they feel that I should have access to or not. Not because it's part of my role, but just to control me. And that's what I see wrong. And to me, like I said, I could check it out, but I'm gonna check it back in when I'm done with it. And that could be, I have another conference coming up, so I will leave it until I'm done with all my conferences and my meetings that I have weekly. Go ahead.
So is it warranted somewhere that somebody's thinking that something's going on in order to warrant a check-in and check-out?
No.
I
There's
think the
been
thing
no
isn't, yeah, it isn't that we don't, well, that she can, that mayor can use the credit card, city credit card, of course, if she has to go to a conference. The thing is that we're saying is the credit cards should stay at the city. If you know you're going to a conference, you're gonna know ahead of time. You're gonna have time to come and get the credit card. But the credit card that we're talking about
To
is,
be
it's
sure that I have time.
in the city's name, it's in her name.
But
but
I don't always, I'm not in her schedule, so maybe she has time.
That's
I have children that I have to drop off and at school. And sometimes, like, I will drop her off at school and from there go straight to my meeting at 9 o'clock and it's in Fresno. So does it seem logical for me to go to Sanger, come back, get the card, and then go back to Fresno because someone is having a problem for having a credit card in my possession?
This is another thing that she could come the day before, pick it up, take her daughter, and then go where she needs to go.
And that's,
You're not being inconvenienced because you don't have to go anywhere. You only come to 2 meetings a month and that's it.
excuse me, excuse me. Excuse
You
me.
called this special meeting, not, and I did.
And that's why I asked if it was warranted. Because if there's no warrant to identify any misuse of anything, then I don't believe that there should be a check-in and check-out. Because I myself has been in a position that I've needed to have a credit card. And for me, if I was in that position to check it in and out, I would question that, like, what warrants that? If your policy does not state originally that you have to check in and check out something, then at that point, what is the warrant and validation in order to change that policy? So that way, you're changing something that, like, doesn't really need to be changed. And that's why I'm asking. I know that I had spoken with the gentleman that does the audit and asked if, us as a community have access to that, and he said yes. Again, that's the community's way of knowing that there is no embezzlement, because I've been in Parlier for quite a while, and I know that, rumors happen, rumors are said, and I would like to, and that's why I asked that question about the audit, is it readily available? Because I've heard rumors of embezzlement. So at that point, like I said, if there's not warrant, I have to do my due diligence, and that's why your due diligence is to review the expenses that are done with each individual card. And for me, I think it's a waste of time to have somebody check in and check out if there is no warrant or validation that there are false charges. That's all.
On one, I think it was prior, they paid for their sufficient other, and then they came back and paid with their credit card, and that was taxpayers' money. But it happened with that, it's happened. So that's why we're just being precautious. We check in a day before and check on a day, night. Can you have a talk with Lily, please? Move her.
Okay, you guys.
Look at what you,
Relax, he's taking care of it, Kathy. Wait, okay, that's fine. Ladies first,
Chief.
thank you.
But you're
remove her.
addressing me.
She threw me a kiss and's laughing at me.
And
I think you're the elected.
Calm her
offi-
down.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
So-
you were addressing me? I'm sorry, you were addressing me?
No, not to you. I'm just letting them know that this has happened before. I'm just letting you know, because you probably don't know, okay? Well, now that you're talking, but I was talking to people on live stream and to the audience here. It has been used, the taxpayers' money has been used for their significant other, and then they came back and paid with their credit card. That's not good. I'm not
what
gonna
that-
say no names,
But-
but that's not good. It's happened.
Stand up there. Let Humberto go first because he's been waiting, but then you can go after that. Thank you.
I can see your issue, Mayor, because I always work with different corporations, and yeah, it is a pain in the butt. But in order for you guys to be equal to everybody, I know I've been hearing the good and the bads, but you can pass a resolution that nobody, with the exception of whoever you want or how you're going to be dealing with that with the cars, and that will solve the issue. That will be applicable to everybody. That's what happened to me. And it was not misuse. They just want to put control, and even if it's not a misuse, they like to put control. So, but you guys got the right to, you can tell Neil to write some language that from now on, this is what is going to happen. But also, it's going to come on Berta too, because the mayor is right. When she's traveling, at least she should paid already the hotel and so much money per diem. You know, she can take that ahead of the time. You know, so that's something that I will be suggesting because I understand her issue. I used to suffer a lot with that issue too.
And just to say something about, this is what I did even to just stop the nonsense about transportation when I go on a flight. I've used my credit card to pay for a flight before and then got reimbursed. But what I'm saying is, like, why should I have to put my finances and then get reimbursed in the back end when this is something for the city? This is not, people think that I go on a vacation. You go to DC, it's an all-day thing. And it's every day, it's work. And you're there from 8 to 5. And nobody has time for a vacation because all you do is get to eat dinner, go to bed, and do it again the next day. And then when you're done with your conference, you fly back. Tell me, why should I have to be the one to pay for everything? Because I'm not an employee. I'm not a salary employee. You know, that's the benefits of any leadership in any town. And I know that from other mayors that do that. You know, this is just all personal, and it's all because it's me, and it's a control. Because in the past, when there was issues, like she said, in the past, nobody came here and questioned anything.
The reason it came up now because I was falsely accused.
But the thing is that this was put on by the council that I mentioned because of control. It's not an issue. It's never been an issue. If it was, it would have been brought up to our attention of any misuse of the credit card. Go ahead.
This is not about control.
I forgot now. Prado, earlier it was mentioned that if there was any inappropriate use of funds, that everyone would be able to see that on the card statements. So that's been for a long time now, right? And then if someone did use one inappropriately, they would be off the council. We're still here. So then apparently there wasn't anything that happened because then you wouldn't be here. Another thing I was going to mention, my husband's a federal employee. He recently had a conference in Georgia. He is issued a card from his employer for his hotel, his flight, and per diem for meals. He keeps that on him all the time. Just like she was saying before, other government employees are able to keep the cards on them at any given time. I'm not understanding what the issue is here.
Because it's the mayor that has that control of that. And it's, again, because I have the credit card, it's about take that away. I mean, it was a mission since they came in.
Couldn't
and everything that's been trying to be stripped away. My computer's here because they don't want me to have a computer in an office because they don't want me in an office. They want me here. So it's all control. Control, control, control. Get her out of here. Get her over there. Don't have her come here. Put her here. Come to your office. Your office is here.
I just don't see a point of relinquishing the card after every use. Things can come up. But couldn't any of the council members also have a card?
Yes, and they were asked if they wanted one. It wasn't even about that. It was about take hers out. Like I said, control.
Doesn't make sense.
It's control. That's all this is.
Thank you.
And right now, it's the majority that have that control. That's why they're doing all the things. It's not about what's best for the community. It's about what can we do to focus on her. That's all it is. I said I have no problem checking it out, but once I'm done with it, that's when I will return it. If I'm going to need it the next week and the following week, guess what? I'm still going to have it in my possession. Why? If it's a checks and balance, it was checked out, and then when my turn's over, it gets checked back in. That's it. I don't have a problem with that. If it's about knowing where it's at.
Another thing I was going to add, though, I did go with my husband when he went for his conference, and I stayed in the same hotel room. It was already paid for by his employer, so it was. I mean, someone could say, "Oh, well, she just went along so she can get the free hotel room and dinner." You know, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, it's a certain amount that he gets, and whether he chooses to use it or not. If he wants to have a $5 burger somewhere and he's entitled to $50, you know, that's all he's using. And I wasn't, you know, on the same bill getting any kickbacks for him going.
Or extra. Yeah.
If anything, it was boring, but
And I second it. I don't have a problem, like I said. I second it too. But again, it will get checked out. When my term's over, it gets checked back in. Thank you. Roll call, please. Yeah, it does work that way. Neil, does it specify when I have to bring it back in?
I need to clarify what the motion is.
Motion to me is to check it out and then bring it back when I'm done using it, because I am not. Where does it say that?
That's what he's clarifying.
That's what I'm trying to clarify. What is it you want to establish as a policy or
That's not-
procedure with respect to credit cards?
Well, this is something the community needs to see about what the purpose of this council that's here, what they're really looking at. And it's not, again, about the community. It's about the control. And I am still gonna only check it out and check it back in. You can come after me all you want. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna return it.
I'm just interjecting because
I won't.
at the end of the day, what you're gonna have is something in the meeting minutes that makes no sense.
Right.
Okay? So if you just, make a motion to, and don't specify what it is you're moving to have done precisely, because we don't have a resolution before you.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just need to know what the motion is and what we're gonna do as a result of the motion passing, if it passes.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be signed in after every time she uses it, not for her whole term. So.
Okay. So am I correct to say the motion is that the procedure for use of a city credit card is for the person using the credit card to check the credit card out and in, and that's it?
Yeah, and I use it every week, so it's like, so I'm not gonna come here every day, because yes, I have meetings. You guys only have 2 meetings a month. I'm part of a lot of different boards, and I use that for parking.
The motion is we're gonna adhere to a procedure where credit cards used by the city council members are to be checked in and checked out after every use.
Yeah.
Is that the motion?
And I use it, so it's gonna be, again, I'm still gonna be in my possession.
Is that the
Because I
motion?
still need it.
Okay. Was there a,
And it shouldn't be in any elected official's name.
That's why he doesn't understand that.
Checking it in and checking it out, so yeah, you've got to.
On the physical
They don't understand that you have to have a credit card in your name.
physical card.
I'd rather you didn't. Can I,
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
So the credit card shouldn't be under any elected official's name. Number one, it should be under
credit card's
Bertha.
going to be under any elected official's
It's
name?
not gonna be.
Okay, so that's
So the
different.
credit card
That's
should
a
only
different-
be under the city manager and the
Trying to inconvenience everything that I do, and it's not about
assistant city manager.
doing city business.
Oh.
Again,
What
It's
you
not even on
have
the
to-
agenda to
what your
vote for that.
motion has to be to do
You have
do
to bring
what
it
you wanna
back.
do, what the motion would have to be is that we are moving to cancel
That's
the credit card that is issued in the name of Alma Beltran.
elected officials.
Correct? Am I got it right so far?
Yep.
And there will be credit cards. Are these things just issued in the name of the city parlor? Is that what they show on the credit card?
the city of
Just to
Parlier.
clarify, you can take out a credit
No, it says
card.
Bertha.
We did it.
It says
you can do
Bertha
that.
for Bertha. It doesn't say city of
And it-
Parlier.
It-
Yeah,
it-
but
it's-
you were
it-
lucky.
Issued, the credit cards that are issued are in the name of an employee? Okay. So if you want to use the city credit card both of which I gather are issued in the name of either the city manager or assistant city manager, you have to check in and check out the credit card. Have I got it right? Okay, so that's the motion. Was there a second?
So,
Second?
okay, I didn't understand what the motion is.
Sonia does not have a credit card in her name. It's only in, I think it's in the mayor's and Bertha's.
Bertha.
Are the only ones that have credit cards in their name. City manager does not have one.
Okay.
So exactly, we want it
It should be in her name.
on Sonia's name and Berta's, and we check it in and out when we need it.
So
And
I
yes,
guess,
we've
Bertha,
been
you're
in
gonna
a
have to go with
conference
me everywhere I
also.
go.
Let me just explore this for a minute. So is there just,
I give up.
is there just one credit card? Just one?
Bertha, tell her how many credit cards you say.
Just one credit card out there?
Go ahead.
Okay, who's the other one issued to? They're both issued to you. Okay. So you,
Two, Bertha? You have one and she has one. You have two and she has one.
And then, certain department heads have one as well.
Go ahead.
I had a question. When you go to hotels or wherever to check in for these events, are you required to show your ID to match the
Yes.
name on the card?
Yes.
Because that's what we had.
That's
to do.
why
was
I came
wondering.
across that problem.
So we came across this. Okay, so all this happened. I checked out Bertha's card, and because they went up before us, and I took the card, and they took the card. Yes, I showed my ID. My name wasn't on the card, but I mean we're City of Parlier, and they ran the card out. So I was like, okay, well.
But
was
how many times do you guys get to do that with going in a trip? And I've gone on several trips on my personal time. Anytime I check in the hotel, you have to show ID because there's always credit card fraud. So why that happened, they were lucky, but doesn't mean that it's always going to be that. So
Actually,
again,
we weren't lucky.
We're going back to the control again.
Actually, we weren't lucky because Berta had prior did the reservations for us. So we weren't lucky.
So
They
then
were
I
waiting
guess
for us and we showed
mine
our
don't get
ID.
reserved before.
we,
Nobody passed it because I don't recall saying anything about it. I'm the one that makes the, yes, I do. No, I guess the mayor doesn't run the meeting anymore. And you know what, Humberto, you're still getting out of control, and it's always you being so destructive and disrespectful. You don't respect women, and I get it. Okay, you don't, because you are showing no respect here at all.
Okay, Neil, so what's the deal? You said if you have a motion, he said motion, I said second it.
a motion and a second, and I was just going to point out that I think you need to get a credit card issued in the name of the city of Parlier, because I'm pretty sure if I go to a hotel or just about anywhere, and I take a credit card in the name
They
of,
don't let you do it just in the name of the city.
has to have somebody's name.
That's why
Trying to say, but it's like it's going on deaf ears.
that's why they put it in my name because I've been here so long.
And she would have to go with me, and then you're going to complain about her going with me.
They didn't have to go with us.
You ready to go to DC?
They didn't have to go
Bertha?
with us to Beverly.
Yeah, they,
I can't get a card in just city of Parlier. Won't allow it. They didn't let us.
this issued in the name of Costanzo Associates, Inc.
The finance directors are the ones who've gotten them, and yeah, I'll ask.
I think you need to check with the bank, with also not just the bank, but because the bank will put whatever you want them to put. But you got to check to see how most hotels take it. Because I have a conference coming up pretty soon.
They go to a hotel and they're gonna get,
The way you gave Diego and her the card, do it like that and make one in your name and her name. Okay?
Mayor, can you give me a second just to respond?
Are you going to be rude again?
Yeah, because you're accusing me and you're not
Of
giving me that. And let me
rudeness, yes, I am.
Beg you a lot,
No,
Mayor,
you
okay?
don't. It's obvious.
You know, but I'm not going to go through. What happened is that when you used to work, and you know that, you had to say, shut up, jump, and they will jump, shut up, and they will shut up, cry.
Were you
were
my
work-
partner at the Department of Corrections or something that you
were
know how
working
I
as the
worked?
Department of Correction, that's all you do. And here
So
is
you're
different.
automatically assuming
Wait a minute,
how
Mayor,
I am.
please,
there you go
please,
again
Mayor.
with being
You're
disrespectful
dealing with
to
the
me.
community.
Always.
I got used to it too.
You are always being very disrespectful.
Well,
What is that?
accuse me,
You
whatever.
are they're the worstest
The
type
one that
of
is
person
totally
that can be.
disrespectful, and in fact,
You
I'm gonna
are very
I'm
disrespectful.
gonna-
You
I'm
don't
gonna
respect
request
women,
you
and you
know
want
that
me.
you should deal
you want
with
me
that.
to. You want me to.
Being that I'm respectful, then
We're done.
That will do a letter.
We're done.
You know, do
You're
a letter,
very
and I would-
disrespectful, Humberto, and that's
And
it's
you need-
obvious.
Okay, can we please just
That's good already.
vote on this?
And I did not get my apology after being falsely accused.
I tried motioning it earlier so we wouldn't have this.
Okay. I'm gonna do a roll call vote.
Yes.
This is what I deal with.
So that card has to be turned in.
It's obvious.
Councilmember Solorio,
Yes.
Councilmember Diego Garza,
Yes.
Mayor Beltran,
No.
Councilmember Molina,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez.
No.
I have 3 yeses and 2 nos. Motion passes.
And that's fine. That way the people can see now what I deal with. That's what I have. Okay? Thank you. Meeting adjourned.